Hey, third graders, welcome back. We're going to try lesson 2. So we're going to keep going with word problems, but these ones I think are pretty fun. We're not doing comparison word problems today. We're doing word problems with extra information, hidden information, or not enough information, okay? I think today is kind of fun. You get to pretend to be a detective, and we're going to break these word problems apart. Okay, and you're probably wondering, Miss Cook, do you ever change your clothes? But don't worry, I do all these videos in the same day, okay? So don't worry. All right, so here's our goal for today. I can represent and solve word problems with extra, hidden, or not enough information. So by the end of this lesson, hopefully you will know what that means and you'll be able to solve problems that have those things. All right, today we're going to look at 3 different types of word problems. So your lesson will be broken into 3 different parts. Normally I've been doing it into 2 different parts, but since this one is 3 parts, I give you 2 brain breaks, okay? So hopefully it won't be too long of a lesson. We'll just do a couple examples of each of the extra information, word problems with hidden information, and word problems with not enough information. So let's get started. Okay, so first one we're going to do is word problems with extra information. So I'm going to go ahead and read this one to you. Emma solved 9 math problems and answered 7 reading problems. Her cousin answered 8 math problems. How many math problems did they solve in all? Okay, so ask yourself, which part of that word problem did I not need to know at all? So I'm going to read it again, and I want you to think about, what do I not need to follow? So the question is, how many math problems did they solve in all? I'm going to read it again. Emma solved 9 math problems and answered 7 reading problems. Her cousin answered 8 math problems. How many math problems did they solve in all? So what was it? What was the information that was extra that we didn't need? The reading problems, right? Okay, we don't care how many reading problems she did because that's not what the question asks. It only asks how many math problems she did. So I'm going to look at only the math problems. Okay, so in this, I want you to practice. You're looking for things that you don't need because word problems will try to trip you up and add extra information to see if they can trick you. Okay, so get rid of all that stuff that you don't need to solve the problem. So Emma solved 9 math problems, and her cousin solved 8 math problems. Now think about, are we going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide? It asks how many math problems did they solve in all. We're just going to add them together, right? Emma's 9 plus her cousin's 8. 9 plus 8 equals 17. So they answered 17 math problems, and normally I would add my label. You guys need to remember to be adding your labels when you're doing your Google Forms. Add your labels on there, and you can spell them right because it's right in the word problem, right? It tells you the exact word. So 17 math problems. Okay, let's try another one. Lane had 6 shirts and 5 pairs of pants. Then his aunt gave him 8 more shirts and another pair of pants. How many shirts does Lane have now? So the question is asking, how many shirts? Keyword is shirts, right? So let's read through the problem again and let's get rid of the stuff that we don't need. Lane had 6 shirts and 5 pairs of pants. Then his aunt gave him 8 more shirts and another pair of pants. How many shirts does Lane have now? So tell yourself, what do we not need in this problem? His pants, right? We don't care how many pants he has because it's asking how many shirts. So I'm going to get rid of all the information about pants because we don't care about the pants. Okay? Now I can solve the problem using the information that I do need. Lane had 6 shirts, and then his aunt gave him 8 more shirts. If I'm talking about more, what operation am I using? Addition, right? So he has 6 shirts, and then his aunt gave him 8 more, so we're going to add 8 more. 6 plus 8. Okay? The way I think about it is 6 plus 6 is 12. So that's my doubles fact. Plus 2 more is 14. Okay, so Lane has 14 shirts in all. And it's really hard to write with this, but I would be expecting you guys to start writing your labels. You need to do that on your Google Forms, please. Okay, let's look at another one. This one I want you to try on your own. A parking lot had 179 cars and 56 trucks. Then 87 cars drove away. How many cars are left on the parking lot? So it's asking how many cars. Go ahead and look through there and see what information do you not need and solve the problem. Go. Okay, hopefully you have your answer. So if it's asking how many cars are left on the parking lot, do I care how many trucks there are? No, right? So I'm going to get rid of the trucks. I don't need that piece of information. So a parking lot had 179 cars, and then 87 drove away. So are we adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? We're subtracting, right? We're getting rid of those 87 cars that drove away. So I'm going to subtract 87. Okay, I make sure to line up my ones and my tens and my hundreds, and I'll go ahead. 9 ones minus 7 ones is 2 ones. 7 tens minus 8 tens, can't do it, so I got to go ungroup one of my hundreds, and I'm going to give myself 10 tens. 17 minus 8 is 9. And 0 hundreds minus 0 hundreds, we don't need to worry about that. So 92 cars are left in the parking lot. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. We'll keep practicing, but those were the ones with extra information. So now we're going to move on to our next section. All right, so here's your quick brain break. I want you to hop on your right foot 10 times, hop on your left foot 10 times, and then I want you to sing one of your multiplication songs. Here's one as an example. Go ahead and pause the video and get your brain break and all your wiggles out. Go. All right, hopefully that helped a little bit. Let's go ahead and move to the second part out of 3 parts. Okay, so now we're going to look at word problems with hidden information. So we really got to be detectives here and break down the word problem, what it's asking for us, and what we need to know to solve the problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and read. Leah had 16 horseshoes in her barn. And horseshoes are those little things that look like this that go on the bottom of horses' hooves. Then she put all new horseshoes on one of her horses. How many horseshoes does she have left? Okay, so she started with 16. She put some horseshoes on, she fixed all of the horseshoes on one of her horses. How many horseshoes does she have left? Let's think about what's hidden. What do we need to know for this word problem? We need to know how many she used on one of her horses, right? It says she put all new horseshoes on one of her horses. So if she put all new ones on every foot of that horse, how many did she use? 4, right? Because horses have 4 hooves. I'm not even going to try to draw a little picture of a horse, but if you have a horse that has 4 feet or 4 hooves, so she used 4 of them, and then we're going to find out how many she has left, okay? 16 minus 4, if it helps you to write them on top of each other, that's fine. 6 minus 4 is 2. 110 minus no tens is 110. So she still has 12 horseshoes left over. Okay, so that was hidden information. It didn't tell us that she used 4 horseshoes, but we know that because she gave one horse all new horseshoes, so it used 4 horseshoes. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Let's look at another one like that. Maya is going on vacation for a week and 3 days. How many days will she be gone? Okay, so let's think about what do we need to know. We know that she went for a week and 3 days. We need to know how long a week is, right? How many days are in a week? Okay, we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's 7 days in a week, right? And hopefully that's common knowledge that you just knew that on the spot. But we know that she was gone for a week, which is 7 days, and then 3 more days. So 7 days, or that full week, plus the 3 more days would give us how many days Maya will be gone, which is 10. She'll be gone for 10 days. Does that make sense? It didn't tell us that a week was 7 days, but it was hidden information. But we know that a week is 7 days, so we can say 7 plus the 3 more days. She'll be gone for 10 days. Okay, because that's days. All right, let's look at another one, and you'll try this one on your own. Garrison bought a dozen eggs from the store. He gave 3 of them to Brandon. How many eggs does Garrison have left? Okay, pause the video, ask yourself what piece is hidden or what piece do I need to know to be able to find out how many eggs Garrison has left. Go. All right, so you need to know how many Garrison started with, what his total was. It told us that he bought a dozen eggs, okay? A dozen means 12, okay? So Garrison bought 12 eggs. He gave away, so we subtracted 3 to give to Brandon. And how many eggs does he have left? Well, 12, the dozen, minus 3 equals 9. Okay, so just in the future, you need to know that a dozen means 12. So if someone said 2 dozen, that would be 12 plus another 12, right? Or 3 dozen would be 12 plus 12 plus 12. Another lingo is the baker's dozen. Baker's dozen actually means 13. It's 12 plus 1 extra. Okay, so when you buy donuts, usually they come in 13. You get 12 and then one more. But when it says just dozen, that's 12. Okay, all right. Here is your second brain break. So I want you to do 10 jumping jacks. I want you to jump as high as you can 5 times. And then I want you to sing another one of your multiplication songs. And I add that yeehaw for the 3A group. Go ahead and try to sing this song. Go. All right, let's move on to the next part of your lesson. So this is the last one. So we did ones that had too much information. We did word problems that had hidden information. And then we're doing word problems that don't have enough information. Now, on your Google form that I'm going to have you fill out on this, I'm going to give you a couple that have not enough information, and you get to make up on your own the information that you would fill in so that someone could solve it. Okay, so you get to come up with the number that you want to. So let's look at an example. Emma bought 8 oranges at the grocery store. She put them in a bowl with some bananas. How many pieces of fruit does she have in the bowl? Okay, so she has 8 oranges, and she added it to a bowl with some bananas, and it wants you to know how many pieces of fruit. Well, what part are we missing? What do we not know? When it says some bananas, do we know how many bananas that is? No, right? So that's missing information. We can't find the answer to this. We can't say 8 plus something equals something. We need to know how many bananas there were in there. Okay, so that is the missing information. They didn't give you enough information to actually solve this. So what we're going to do is come up with our own. So Emma bought 8 oranges at the grocery store. She put them in a bowl with, I'm going to say, 10 bananas. Okay, how many pieces of fruit does she have in the bowl? So now I can cross this out and I can say 10, 8 plus 10 is 18. Okay, they did not give you enough information. If you didn't come up with your own number, you would not be able to solve that problem because there wasn't enough information to do it on your own. Let's look at another one like that. Cassius made 127 baskets in basketball camp last summer. This summer, he made many more. How many baskets did Cassius make in both summers? So he made 127 baskets last summer. Then it says he made many more. But do we know how many more? No. And how many baskets did he make in the both summers? So last summer plus this summer will give us how many he made in both summers. Can we solve this problem? Could you find an answer to it? No, right? It does not give you enough information. Okay, so that's when on your Google form you'll get to make up your own. So you could say this summer he made 300 baskets. How many baskets did he make in both? So now that I have a number there, 127 plus 300, can stack them on top of each other if that helps. 7 plus 0 is 7. 2 tens plus 0 tens is 2 tens. And 300 plus 100 is 400. He made 427 baskets. Okay, that didn't have enough information. Okay, so let's look at our last one. Senora Perez bought 6 Spanish books and put them on the shelf with her other Spanish books. How many Spanish books are on the shelf now? So I want you to pause the video and ask yourself, what am I missing from this? What do I need to be able to solve this problem? And then go ahead and fill it in with your own information, okay? And solve the problem. Go. All right, so she bought 6 Spanish books and she put them on a shelf with her other Spanish books. But do we know how that other is? Do we know how many that is? No. And then it asks how many Spanish books are on the shelf now. Well, we can't figure that out because we don't know how many there were to start with. Okay, so this is where you get to make up your own. Let's say she put them on the shelf with 10 other Spanish books. Okay, the 6 Spanish books she just bought plus the 10 that were already on the shelf will give us 16 Spanish books in all. Okay, so you wouldn't have been able to solve that problem because they did not give you enough information. All right. So by the end of this lesson, you can represent and solve word problems with extra information, hidden information, so like dozen and week And if it said like a year, you'd have to know that was 365 days, right? Things like that. Or not enough information. All right, go ahead and fill out your Google form to show that you learned something. Okay, and then also don't forget to click mark as done up in that corner so that it shows that you handed it in. All right, have a good rest of your day.